My name is Tony Kranz, and I serve as the board chair currently of North County Transit District, as well as council member in the city of Encinitas. And it is my pleasure to be here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of coaster service here in San Diego. It's especially an honor as someone who moved to Encinitas in 1960. I used to fight with my cousin when the train would be coming through town to pick up him and his mom. We would fight over the flag. There was a flag stop in downtown Encinitas, and so the history of the railroad in this region is pretty important. It started in 1880s, and a lot of people have moved on this line. A lot of freight has moved on this line over the years. My father rode on this line in the 1940s as a 17-year-old recruit and ended up at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego on his way to the Pacific to fight in World War II. So the history of this line goes a long ways, and I'm very proud to be here with the opportunity to celebrate 25 years of coaster service. I'd like to start with a fairly long list of introductions and welcome a variety of folks who have served on the board or in political positions in North County over the years. So if you'll bear with me here, I'd like to introduce Bob Campbell, former Vista City Council member and served on the NCTD board for years. Was responsible for hiring Matt Tucker, so if you've got any problems with Matt, you could talk to Bob. We have also with us Joe Collegian, former Solana Beach City Council member, also a longtime NCTD board, served a couple times as the chair of the board, also served on the Low Sand Corridor board when the transition to operations of the Pacific Surfliner took place. Thank you, Joe. We have Rocky Chavez, former council member here in Oceanside and board member NCTD, currently serving on the Tri-City Hospital board. Thank you, Rocky. John Aguilera, former city council member Vista and board member here at NCTD, also serves on the FACT board. We have current board members Jack Feller, City Council Member Oceanside. We have Jewel Edson, current board member and mayor of Solana Beach. We have Sharon Jenkins, who is council member City of San Marcos and also board member. And Priya Bhat Patel, who is a council member Carlsbad and board member. We have Corey Schumacher, who is a member of the Sandag board and council member in Carlsbad. And Jim Desmond is on the County Board of Supervisors. He'll be speaking here in a moment. We have kind of an honored guest, Dave Ween, who was the Amtrak general manager when the coaster service started. And we have Neil Jeans of Bombardier, and Hassan Akrada, who is the CEO, the general manager of Sandag. Thank you, Hassan. And I think that's everybody. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. All right, so this coaster, 1982 planning began for the Coast Express rail commuter service. On June 2nd in 1994, the NCTD Board of Directors created a nonprofit corporation called the San Diego Northern Railway to maintain, enhance, and operate what is now known as the coaster. On February 27, 1995, coaster service commenced with 6 morning trains and 6 evening trains. 25 years later, the coaster continues its Oceanside to downtown San Diego service with 22 weekday trains and 8 weekend trains, servicing 8 stops along the way, including stations in Carlsbad, Encinitas, Solana Beach, Sereno Valley, and Old Town in San Diego. Today, Coaster has an annual ridership of more than 1.4 million and average weekday ridership of nearly 4,900. The Coaster provides a travel option for many commuters heading to popular employment hubs such as downtown San Diego, Sereno Valley, and Carlsbad. This travel option works to alleviate congestion on the surrounding freeways, reduce the number of single occupancy vehicles, and offer riders a way to travel along our beautiful coastline without the hassles of traffic and parking. Throughout its 25 years of service, the Coaster has transported customers over 927 million passenger miles. So NCTD is delighted to celebrate this important anniversary with all of you and with the public. We have a robust lineup of festivities planned, kicking off today with free rides on Coaster all day long. Throughout the day, anyone can hop on board at any station for no charge and experience the amazing scenery, quick service, and relaxing ride all the way from Oceanside to downtown San Diego. In addition, we will have giveaways here at Oceanside Transit Center until noon, and Carlsbad Village Station and Encinitas Station tomorrow from 7:30 in the morning until 10:30 in the morning. The celebration continues throughout the year, so check our website at gonctd.com for more events. And it is now my pleasure to introduce the Executive Director of NCTD, Mr. Matt Tucker.
All right, good morning, everybody. Oh, yeah, we're going to have to do better, right? Good morning, everybody. All right, this is a great day. Reaching 25 years old. I wish I was 25. The Coaster has made a significant impact in this region. I'm standing here to say that I believe the best is yet to come. I wanted to take a moment off of what I'm supposed to be talking about to really thank the people who have supported us to make the Coaster service happen. And Tony named a lot of those leaders that worked hard and really believed in the Coaster, really worked hard to push NCTD forward. And I want to make sure that we give those guys a big hand to thank them for the work that they've done. In addition to that, I do want to mention the significant amount of work that staff has done, from NCTD staff to Sandag staff, to really make the Coaster the best service that it can be for the region. And again, I'm emphasizing that the best is yet to come. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about where are we going next with the Coaster. We have some billboards that really kind of capture some significant activities that should bring a lot of excitement to each of us and to the riding public. So the first thing I'm going to highlight is our train equipment. We have locomotives that were used at the time that the Coaster went into service 25 years ago. Guess what? We're replacing those locomotives. We've seen those locomotives under construction. That's a pretty picture of one of those locomotives under construction. The first of our new 5 locomotives is supposed to arrive shortly after the 4th of July. You can expect to see those in operations in early 2021 at the latest, but they are going to provide a significant change in the way that we do business. They're a lot more environmentally friendly, they're quieter, and they use fewer fuel. And it's going to really support our initiative of zero delay by providing much higher level of reliability. At the same time as we're purchasing new locomotives, beyond the 5, we're planning to purchase 4 additional locomotives. 2 additional locomotives will support the replacement of the entire 7 fleet, and 2 additional locomotives, thanks to Sandag, to support the expansion of services, where we will go from more than 22 trains per day to about 42 trains per day, and that's going to happen in the next couple of years. Significant. I also want to mention that we have an overhaul program underway for our cars and coaches. Those cars and coaches are being really rebuilt, repainted. The first car is due to be completed over the course of the next 45 days or so, and those vehicles will look exactly like a new vehicle once we put those in service. So significant improvements on the way in terms of the fleet. One of the things I also really wanted to highlight is this development site that we are at today. This is probably one of the most significant properties in terms of size, beauty, that you're going to find in Southern California. And guess what? We own it. So right now today we have a transit-oriented development RFP that's been managed by a private company called CBRE that would seek to really redevelop this site. The significant thing about it is that it makes significant improvements to the customer riding experience. So today you have the bus island over there and the trains over here. Well, that plan assumes that we will have direct transfers between our trains and our buses in the future. We've included the mobility hub concept that Sandag has developed as part of the development plans. And so we're hoping over the course of this year to award a contract to a vendor, and hopefully over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, that vendor will start construction on a project that will include relocation of our 810 GAO building to the site, along with creation of a Union Station concept where our customers would be able to come together, hang out, do searches on the internet, and gain access to Amtrak and all of the other different services that we have today that are currently spread out. I've already touched upon the frequencies, but I want to touch upon our pilot program that's going on in Carlsbad, where we're implementing in a strong partnership with the City of Carlsbad and Sandag, a microtransit project. That project has been very successful. It's more than exceeded my expectations in terms of proof of concept. And we are going to be developing plans that are going to significantly overhaul our system, that are going to really allow customers to be able to travel faster on our buses by having more frequent service and being directly connected with microtransit vehicles to their first and last mile destinations. We think that, combined with the service improvements on the coaster, and hopefully us coming together as a region to fund implementation of 15-minute hitways on the Sprinter, will really reshape public transit in North County in a way that was not imagined literally years ago. Finally, the one thing I want to touch upon is technology. If you go out onto our platforms today, and if you stand out here, we are highly deficient in terms of the real-time information on the platforms. The great news that we can share is that we funded the first stage of implementation of real-time signage. That project is going to kick off in earnest in July of this year, and hopefully by mid next year, all of the platforms will have real-time information, and we hope to implement additional phases of real-time information throughout our facilities to improve the rider experience. So in summary from me, I really want to thank our board of directors, our staff, our contractors, our partners with Sandag and our other stakeholders for their support and actually pushing this coaster service forward, but also pushing forward all of our services. We can't do the work without your support, and I'm going to lean upon you guys as we make that last big push, $200 million assigned, for to make the Sprinter sprint a lot more frequently in the future to complement the significant improvements that we're making on the coaster. So with that, I thank you for your support for NCTD, and it's been a pleasure for us to offer that service for more than 25 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate the work that you and all your staff do to improve public transit service here in the North County. With that, I would like to introduce District 5 County Supervisor Jim Desmond.
All right, Tony, thank you. Thank you. All right, good morning. Good morning. This is a new position for me. I'm usually fighting for roads, but I also appreciate transit and what transit does. I'm pleased to stand here today with many of the people who have, over the past 25 years have been a part of bringing the coaster forward and making sure it operates well and as best they can. And so I want to recognize them, but also behind them are our sheriffs from the Sheriff's Department. They are the Transit Enforcement Unit here at North County Transit District. They keep our platforms and our people safe while they're on the train. So let's give them a hand as well. And the coaster, I've been a frequent rider of the coaster here lately with my new position as county supervisor. I have taken it down from Oceanside all the way down to the Santa Fe station. It's only a couple of blocks away from the county administrative building, and it's been actually sometimes a godsend that I'm able to ride transit because I'm able to get work done. on my way down instead of just fighting traffic. So in this, the coaster serves, you know, the coastal cities, also Solana Beach area, which is a major, or Solana Beach and Sorrento Valley, as I meant, is a major employment hub for San Diego County, and all the way down then to Santa Fe Station. It's actually great for North County residents and all of the coastal residents as well. I've got a proclamation here. This is honoring the county, honoring the Transit District Coaster Train. It's celebrating 25 years of service. I understand today is free rides on the coaster all day long. Unfortunately, it's not a day that I went downtown. But be it proclaimed by the Board of Supervisors, Chair Greg Cox, and all the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, that this day, the 27th day of February 2020, to be North County Transit District Coaster Day throughout San Diego County. So Matt, come on up, we'll give this to you. All right, thank you. Congratulations. Yeah, all right. Yay. There you go, cheese. There you go, cheese. All right. Okay, of the other hats that I wear, I'm also the Transportation Committee Chairman at Sandag. And this is also a momentous occasion for Sandag as well, and I want to recognize their part in this effort. To date, 2/3 of the San Diego segment has been double-tracked. Other infrastructure include bridge and track replacements, new platforms, pedestrian undercrossing, and safety and other operational enhancements. Just this past Monday, Sandag opened the second bridge over the San Diego River. This project complements double tracking along the southernmost section of the Low Sand Corridor. Passengers and freight trains can now travel continuously in each direction along a 7-mile stretch of the railway that runs from Garnett and Balboa Avenue all the way to Santa Fe Depot in downtown San Diego. Last fall, the Sandag Board of Directors provided Matt Tucker with $50 million for 60 million? 58.8 million. For 2 new trains to help improve the travel times and the efficiency in reducing greenhouse gases on the corridor. Additionally, Sandag and NCTD recently celebrated the completion of the Poinsettia Station improvements in Carlsbad. That was a $33 million effort to increase the safety and efficiency along the rail line in Carlsbad. So as a companion to the I-5 freeway, the San Diego segment of the Low Sand Corridor plays a critical role in movement of goods and people for all the region, particularly North County, and we appreciate them for that. Thank you very much.
I appreciate Jim mentioning Sandag. The discussions about those allocations were quite vigorous, and for Jim it was a real struggle because I know he was counting the number of lanes that might have been able to be added with that, but he did end up supporting, and I really appreciate that support. A couple of folks that I didn't mention previously that I'd like to mention are affiliated with a very important labor union, the SMART Union, Joe Fraley and Charlie Fraley. Thank you very much for being here this morning. I would now like to introduce Kyle Crail with Representative Levin's office to have a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Good morning, and thank you for having me here on behalf of Congressman Mike Levin and Congressman Scott Peters to award this proclamation celebrating the North County Transit District for 25 years of coaster commuter rail service. Whereas on February 27, 1995, the North County Transit District commenced coaster commuter rail service with 6 morning and evening trains, and whereas the coaster continues to thrive 25 years later with 22 weekday trains and 8 weekend trains, and whereas the coaster travels 41 miles from Oceanside to downtown San Diego with 8 stops including Carlsbad, Encinitas, Solana Beach, and Old Town San Diego, and whereas the coaster annually provides service to more than 1.4 million people while helping the environment and alleviating congestion on the surrounding roadways, and whereas NCTD has been recognized for establishing a goal of 0 passenger delay by increasing the trains operated by per day, rail passenger cars, and new locomotives, now therefore be it resolved that on the 25th anniversary of the coaster, the NCTD be honored by Congressman Mike Levin and Congressman Scott Peters for outstanding work creating and maintaining the coaster with dependability and excellent service.
Okay. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here to celebrate the 25-year anniversary, a week after actually celebrating an undercrossing that was constructed at Poinsettia Station in Carlsbad. And within the next few months, we're going to kick off construction of a grade-separated pedestrian crossing in Encinitas. So there's a lot of work being done on the rail line. We are only going to have good service if we have the support of the public, and making this rail corridor a better citizen to its neighbors is an important part of the work that we're doing both at Sandagan and NCTD. So with that, I want to thank again our speakers, the riders that have supported Coaster over the years, the contractors who have helped to keep the train moving, and all the board members that have served as advocates for public transit in the past. So I want you all to enjoy the rest of this beautiful day, and thank you all for coming to the celebration of the coaster.
Good job.